What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we have some very interesting news coming out today. Some of this has to do with stimulus checks possibly coming back, so you don't want to miss that. Also, I'm going to dive into what's going on regarding the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, what the White House is saying. So let's get into the update for today. Here's what we know. According to GOP Representative Kevin Brady, he says that Senator Joe Manchin is asking exactly the right questions. And he is asking these questions on that $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. He says that we need to know what we are spending our money on. We cannot and should not be wastefully spending this money. In a time like this, when we are seeing inflation numbers where they are at right now, it makes no sense to double down on additional spending when we don't know for sure what is actually working. And this is why, according to many experts, they say it makes sense to double and triple check to ensure money is not wasted in a time like this. Also, according to one progressive aide, and this is where things get very interesting, and this is where some say we could see stimulus checks and additional stimulus come back. Here's the reason. According to one progressive aide, they are saying that Senator Joe Manchin opposing the bill is not what they wanted. However, it could be a good thing for the progressive agenda. Here's the reason why. They say that if Congress were to pause and wait and see what really needs to be done and really needs to pass infrastructure bill, what they're going to see is the infrastructure bill should be longer. It should be larger. It should expand more things. It should be bigger, more expansive, more expensive. It should provide for more people. That's what we're hearing. They also say the American people, they're hurting. Congress is going to see this. They also say that what they will see is another problem on our hands, and that has to do with Afghanistan and the Afghanistan situation, and that must be taken care of immediately as well. So we got Afghanistan, we got additional infrastructure. It needs to be bigger, and the American people are still hurting, so possibly another stimulus check is a must. I've been saying this for a while. The longer we wait to pass additional stimulus, whatever it may be, chances are it's either going to hurt more people, then Congress and the Biden administration will have to come back and try to remedy that situation, which is going to cost more money, it's going to be more expensive, and it's going to take longer. So it just makes more sense to get it done now. However, that's not the way they look at this, and this is why progressives are so upset, because they say we need to get this done. We have a plan, listen to our agenda, and let's pass it. Are only going to get worse, according to progressives. They say that they're inclined to push for much more in this bill as we see delay after delay after delay. So, at the same time, the White House says they are fine with Senator Joe Manchin saying what he said and opposing the $3.5 trillion bill. They say they will continue to push forward with the Biden agenda, and at some point, Joe Manchin and the other moderates will simply have to get on board. Very blunt statement. Democrats also believe that it has changed the way we will move forward in the future. Many Democrats say they went from this legislation could be nice to have, okay? And remember, last year they were all saying, oh, this would be a good thing to have just in case, in the event. Well, now they're saying this is a must-have. And again, these are because of all the different programs that Congress has passed over the past year. Let me just break that down. This includes things like universal basic income. This is something that many lawmakers said, well, universal basic income would be nice to have. However, because of things like stimulus checks, the earned income tax credits, the child tax credits that are now coming out monthly payments, it's because of these that they're saying these universal basic income, plans and programs, this is actually a must-have in a day like today. This also includes things like longer home loans. Did you know you can get a larger or longer home loan, something longer than just 30 years? Yes. Congress passed legislation last year that allowed borrowers to take out mortgage forbearance. They didn't have to pay for, I think, up to like 18 months. Okay? or 12 months or something like that. Okay, but then it allowed them to rework their loans with their lender and extend it for the maximum of 40 years. 40 years. That's an additional 10 years on top of what we were already seeing, the 30-year mortgage. So an additional 10 years. Now they're saying we could see this. We could see a 40-year loan come out of all of this. Now, experts say that many people do not have the ability to provide, or pay for a 30-year loan. It's just too expensive. But a 40-year loan, that could change things. And some say a 40-year loan makes more sense to people because they don't intend to ever move. But let me ask you this. Do you intend to stay at wherever you're at, your apartment or your house, for the rest of your life? Or do you plan on moving as your family grows, as your job changes or your career changes, as just, the area, the demographic, the geography, whatever? Do you plan on changing along with it? My guess is yes. So I'm not sure exactly what they mean by 40 years makes sense, because most people don't intend to ever move. I like to move every 2 years. That's just me personally. I would love to move every 2 years. But again, that's just me. Now, this also includes legislation for nutrition assistance during summer months. Remember what I said earlier on this year when I was telling you guys that if children do not get any additional assistance for nutrition during the summer, many are going to starve. Many are going to starve because they don't get that additional assistance through SNAP benefits. They don't get it. And they don't have the ability to go and buy already prepared meals. Many children don't. They cannot just call Pizza Hut, be like, hey, I got these SNAP benefits. Okay? Now, I could be wrong. Okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. But you can buy, Papa Murphy's pizza because it's prepared but it's not baked. But you cannot buy, Pizza Hut. You can't go McDonald's with an EBT card. You can't do that. Okay? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. But this is what experts are saying, that by providing additional money, that EBT, this helped out millions of people. This helped out millions of children. But in addition to that, schools had additional funding. The school districts could actually prepare meals. And some bus drivers would drive around the city and distribute the lunches and breakfast. And they do this every single day. And on Fridays, the good school districts would have 2 or 3 bags for each child that they can put in the fridge. And then on Saturday or Sunday, they can grab that, and that's what they're going to have on Saturday. That's what they're going to have on Sunday. So again, this was all because of additional funding from the federal government. But these are things that some are saying we could see these come back. And they say right now, if it wasn't enough, okay? If it wasn't enough, the wildfires, Hurricane Ida, and obviously other past events that have sparked new interest as well in providing an additional billions and billions of dollars in additional funding for infrastructure. That's what we need, according to many experts. But again, the fight is just beginning. They're still working on this bill. They're still working on the bill. They're not supposed to have the legislation submitted for 9 days on September 15th. So we'll see what happens. It's a week and a half. Today, we also know, as the U.S. is celebrating Labor Day, a day to celebrate workers and the workforce, we got Nancy Pelosi. She came out and gave a statement today. And here's what she had to say, and I thought this was very interesting. And it was a fitting day for this. She said, and I quote, "For generations, working people joining together in a union have been one of the greatest forces for progress in American history. Winning the 40-hour work week, 2-day weekends, workplace safety protections, collective bargaining rights, and more. Moving forward, Democrats will continue to fight to enact our legislation, passed in the House with the partnership of labor to secure equal pay for equal work and raise the minimum wage to $15 per hour." So, I think that's interesting. Now, I don't think she's going to be able to get a $15 minimum wage included into any type of budget reconciliation, That can't happen because of the Byrd rule, because of the Senate parliamentarian has already stated that a $15 per hour minimum wage cannot be included into the budget reconciliation. She just outright said that and pulled it from the bill. This was the last time. Now, I don't know if Democrats have something else in mind, but over the past few days, we have heard more reports of lawmakers pushing for an increase in the minimum wage. Again, the minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you currently make minimum wage in your state? Whether it's $7.25 per hour or $14, it doesn't matter. Do you currently make minimum wage? I'm just curious. How many people here make the minimum wage in their state? Now, it's not a bad thing if you make the minimum wage, but it just means you have somewhere to go. If you're making millions of dollars and you're pretty much at that ceiling, you can't go up any higher. Well, you're not going to go up very quickly. But people on minimum wage, there's things you can do. You can fix your skills. You can adjust them. You can learn new skills. You can you change your career path entirely. Or maybe you're just now getting into the workforce. That's completely fine. I remember when I first started working, I was making like $6.15 an hour. $6.15 per hour. I look back at it now and think, wow, I was kind of underpaid. This was like 15 years ago. But there are still people today making just a little bit more than I was making 15 years ago. That's not right. So we'll see what happens there. We also know that we now have 49 states that have now confirmed the MU state, the only state in the United States that does not have a single case as of right now is Nebraska. That's the only state. Okay? Health officials believe that Mu is more transmissible than the Delta variant is, and they say it has the potential to resist as well. That's not great news, but as always, as I know more, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.